Okay, so bring yourselves into the center of your mat and we shall breathe for the beginning of today's class. Oh, I need this. My little microphone. So take a nice comfortable seated position. Let your crown of your head rise up towards the ceiling. So that's not a chin lift, that is a head lift. So you're lengthening out your neck, letting your shoulders become nice and loose, letting your hands rest in your lap or on your knees, and then breathe. So just taking some nice steady inhales and steady exhales. Good, and then once you feel like you've got your breathing rate to a nice steady fashion, just want you to close your eyes if they're not already closed. And then just listen to the sounds that you can hear around you. So that's not only the sounds coming from your device, but also other sounds that you might be able to hear in the room that you are practicing. So it could be nearby traffic, noises of other people, or just the noise of your fridge, which is what I can hear, the whirring of my fridge. And just recognize those sounds. And slowly just start to let those sounds become more and more into the background. And focus a little bit more of your attention towards your breathing. So just listening out for that rush of air sound as you take air in through your nose and out through your nose or mouth. Good. Now when you're ready, just give your fingers a little wiggle. Maybe rotating your wrists. And as you take a nice deep inhale, lift your hands up towards the ceiling, stretching your hands nice and wide and reaching up as high as you can towards the ceiling, making sure that your palms are facing forwards and your fingers are spread. Good. Now let's start to fold our body forwards and letting yourself come over the top of your legs. Hands come down, head is nice and floppy. Just give it a nod for a yes, and then shake it for a no. And then slowly draw yourself back up to your seated position. Good, let's take a little twist over to the left-hand side by bringing your right hand on top of your left knee. And then rounding yourself to the other side. Good, and then back to center. Good, just shake out your wrists and your fingers, turn your head gently from side to side, and any other movements that you feel like you need to do to loosen yourself up as you start to make your way onto all fours. So making sure that your fingers are nicely spread across the mat and that your knees are roughly underneath your hips. We're just going to move into some gentle cat-cow movements. Okay, so as you inhale, dip your stomach down towards the floor, and as you exhale, tuck your tailbone and press the middle of your back towards the ceiling. And see if you can make your breath a little bit more audible whilst you're moving through these gentle movements. Good, and then bring yourself back to center. Good, let's bring our hands a little bit further forwards onto the mat until you can kind of reach the tip of the mat with your fingertips, and then just let your chest sink down towards the floor. So you may be able to get your elbows down onto the floor with your hips still over your knees and squeeze your shoulder blades together. Good. Draw yourself back up and now start to move forwards and backwards. So just a gentle rhythm, pulling your body forwards and then taking it all the way back towards your heels. Good. Now see if you can bring your breath in with this. So a strong inhale to draw you forward and a big exhale to push yourself back. Good. Few more. Good, and then bring yourself back to center, making sure that your fingers are pressed nice and firmly into the mat and that your toes are tucked. When you're ready, we're going to lift our knees 2 inches away from the mat and slowly start to do cat-cow movements, even with our knees slightly raised. Good. Next step from here is to push ourselves all the way up and back into downward facing dog. And then just gently press into the backs of each leg as you bend the opposite knee in turn. So you're cycling into your dog. Good. Keep your breath nice and steady. Good. Come back to that center point where your feet are nice and relaxed. When you're ready, we're going to lift our left leg up. Good. Curl this leg underneath you and step it as far up towards the top of the mat as you can. Good. Lower your back knee down. Lift your chest. So you come up into a low lunge, sink nice and deeply into that front knee and feel that stretch running down the insides and outsides of your left thigh. Good. Throw your hands forward. Lift the back knee, step back into a plank and lift your hips back into downward facing dog. Good. Right leg lifts. Ooh, taking the cushion. Good. Curl the leg underneath you. Step that foot up in between your hands. Drop the back knee down. Inhale to lift. Low lunge. Bend nice and deeply into that front knee. Hold it there. Feel that stretch. Breathe. Good. Throw your hands forwards. Lift the back knee. Step yourself back into a plank. Hop your knees down to the floor and lift your feet. Point them towards the back of the room. Now pull your body as far forwards as you can and then gently bend your elbows to take yourself to the floor. And once you hit the floor, bring your feet down and roll yourself back and up into a cobra. Good. Open your chest, let your shoulders become nice and soft. Breathe. Good, then tuck your toes and press yourself up and back into downward facing dog. Good, press your right foot into the floor nice and deeply and let your left leg lift away from the floor. Bend that knee and then open the hips to the side. Good, now curl this leg around the body, swoop it underneath you and see if you can step it up in between your hands. Now, if you don't quite make it, if your foot lands here, you can always drop your back knee down and shift that foot up manually. It is absolutely fine. Good. With your back knee lifted, inhale to rise yourself up. Raise yourself up. English is terrible today. Good. Into a high lunge. Good. We're now going to take our left foot and we're going to shimmy it right to the left side of the mat. Good. Now when you're ready, bend a little deeper into that left knee, throw your hands forwards and bring your hands down so they are to the right-hand side of your left foot. Good. Now see if you can turn on your back foot, so you're bringing the outer edge of the foot, rather than the inner edge, the outer edge of the foot down onto the mat as you lift up your left arm into a little side twist. Breathe. Good. Now from here, drop your back knee down. See if you can roll onto the outer edge of your left foot. Bring your left hand back down onto the inside of your left knee and then just sink as far down as you can into your hips. Good. Holding yourself steady with your right hand. Breathe. Good. Let's draw that knee back up. Let's shimmy our left foot back into the center. Now we're going to bend deeply into that knee, lift our hands, and then take it back into a back bend. So we're deep into a low lunge here. Good. Bring your hands back down to the floor, retuck your back toes and lift the back knee away from the floor. Send that left foot back into a plank. Good. Take those hips nice and high into downward facing dog. Now just give your hips a wiggle from side to side. Take a long breath in and a long breath out. Good. Press your left foot into the mat to help lift your right leg up towards the ceiling. Good. Bend that knee, open the hips to the side. Good. Keep that knee lifted as much as you can. And then when you're ready, swing that leg around your body and step it up to the top part of the mat. Good. Keeping your back knee raised. Lift into your high lunge. Good. Like before, drop your hands to your waist and shimmy your right foot to the right-hand side of the mat. Re-extend those arms. Bend a little deeper into the front knee. Then draw your hands down so they come onto the left-hand side of your right foot. Good. Rotate onto the outer edge of your back foot. Press into your left hand and lift your right arm up. Taking it into a little twist to the side. Breathe. Good. When you're ready, drop the left knee down towards the floor. Bring your right hand down onto the inside of your right knee. Roll onto the outer edge of your right foot. Press that leg away from you as you weigh in to your left hand. See if you can turn and look towards the ceiling and let your hips sink down towards the floor. Good. And then let's draw that right foot back in towards the center. Good. Now sink down as much as you can into that right knee and lift your arms up and back into a back bend. Breathe. Good. Then bring those hands back down. Flip onto the toes of your left foot. Lift that back knee away from the floor, but this time we're going to step our back foot up to the top of the mat. Good. Now hang it nice and low over your legs and gently rock your body from side to side. Good. Now from having your body hung over your legs, press into the floor deeply and lift yourself all the way up, reaching your hands towards the ceiling. Good. Then fold yourself all the way back down. Good, again, press your feet into the floor, lift up, and then fold yourself all the way back down. Good, again, press up and fold. Last one, press the floor away, come all the way up, and then fold all the way back down to the floor. Bend the knees nice and deeply and step both legs back so you're in a plank. Good. Hold yourself in plank for as long as you can. Breathe. When you're ready, drop your knees to the floor, flick your toes to the top corner of the room, and then lower yourself down through Chaturanga, and then back into Cobra, before tucking your toes and pushing yourself up and back into Downward Facing Dog. Good, sway your hips from side to side as you take a deep breath in, steady breath out. Good, now look between your hands, find buoyancy into your legs and either run, hop or fly to the top of the mat. Good, plant your heels down as you extend your legs and then slowly roll your body up. Nice and slowly. Good, when you get all the way to the top, reach your hands up towards the ceiling. Take hold of your right wrist with your left hand. Reach that arm up nice and tall, and then take a dip over to the left hand side. Breathe. Good, come all the way back, swap over your hands, reach that arm up nice and high, and then take a dip over to the other side. Good, and then slowly come back to center, bend your knees, and fold.
If you awaken from this,
good, we're going to move into 3 half lifts. So make sure you're nice and low in your knees. Bum is sticking back. Inhale, half lift. So hands to shins or knees. Look forwards, roll your shoulder blades back. And then fold.
you can
Good, again, inhale, half lift.
not as a stranger,
Exhale, fold.
not as something here on the plate,
Inhale, half lift.
not as something
Exhale, fold.
arrived here by fluke.
Good, plant those hands into the mat and step both feet back so you're in a plank again. Good, hold yourself nice and strong. Breathe, heels back, legs are strengthening. Look forwards.
Deep down, far
Breathe, see if you can steady your breathing. Good, then when you're ready, lower yourself down through Chaturanga. Curl yourself back and up into Cobra. Good, and then flip on your toes to take yourself back into a Downward Facing Dog. Let's take 3 breaths here. So a nice long steady breath in and then release. Steady breath in and release. Steady breath in and release. Good. When you're ready, left leg, right leg lifts towards the ceiling. Good. Nice and slowly curl this leg underneath you and step the foot up in between your hands. Good. Steady your legs and your hands, and when you feel like you've got strength in them, lift into high lunge. Good. Now we're going to drop our back heel down towards the floor. So we pull ourselves out into a warrior 2. Good, now sink nice and deeply into that front knee until you can feel the stretch happening here on your inner thighs. Good. Now we're going to wrap our back hand around our back until the fingers come out to the side. Good, we're going to turn the front palm towards the ceiling. Now see if you can sink down nice and deeply into that front knee. Imagine you're scooping something up and then lifting it over your head. Good, come back to center and do that 2 more times. So scooping, lifting up, stretching that right rib cage. Good, and then coming back. Last one. Scooping, lift up, breathe. Good, and then come back to warrior 2. Good, take that back hand back as well. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, we're going to bend our right elbow and connect it with the top of the right thigh. Send the hand so it's pointing out to the left. Good. Now, if you're pressing into your thigh here, see if you can lift the weight away from it. So you're just lightly touching the front of your thigh. Good. Now, with your left hand, reach it over so you're finding a diagonal shape with your body. Again, see if you can avoid just dumping all of your weight into that right elbow. See if instead you can lift nice and tall with your chest and just lightly touch the top of your thigh. From here, breathe. Steady breath in. Steady breath out. Good. Let's unravel ourselves, coming all the way back into warrior 2. Good. When you're ready, take a deep breath in, lift your shoulders up to your ears, give them a squeeze, and then exhale to pivot your hands down towards the floor. Good. Now see if you can press as much weight into your right foot here as possible. As ideally, what we'd like to do is to lift the back foot away from the floor, pressing into this right foot. Lift this back foot nice and high and hover it. Good. Use your hands as much as you need to hold yourself steady. Good. Now we're going to start to curl this leg in towards our body. Okay, so we're tucking it up towards our chest. Now see if you have the balance to gradually pull your body up. Unravel that body and reach. Hands above your head. All the time squeezing your 2 knees in towards one another. Breathe. Good. Let's take this all the way back down towards the floor. And then stretch this left leg all the way back. Drop the knee. And then take the hands back to straighten out your right leg. Now you can always just tap your right leg forwards and then curl the toes away so it's just your heel wedging down into the floor. Now if you can't touch the floor here, you can always bring one hand to your inner thigh and then just gently press your chest forwards. Even a small bend into the knee is all okay, as long as you are feeling a stretch running up the sides and back of your extended leg. Good. Then start to bring the leg forward or your weight forward and step everything back to a plank. Go through your chaturanga of choice with knees down or knees lifted. And then into a cobra, letting your shoulders relax. Good. Tuck your toes. Downward facing dog. Good. We need to do all of that on the other side. So when you're ready, left leg lifts towards the ceiling. Good. Slowly curl this leg underneath you and step that foot up in between your hands. When you're ready, lift, high lunge, and then pivot on your back foot to draw yourself out into warrior 2. And just check your feet. Check you're happy with how your feet are before bringing your arms out. Now again, let's wrap our back arm around our back. Turn the front palm to face the ceiling and then bend deeply and lift and flick an imaginary object over your head before coming back to center. Good, again, bend, lift and flick, and then come back to center. Bend, lift and flick, and back to center. Good, let's take that back hand back as well. Bend the left elbow, draw it down towards the top of your thigh, and then start to extend the right arm over your head. Again, if you feel like you are dumping into this left arm, see if you can use your torso, tense all the muscles, and see if you can lift this arm gently so it's only touching lightly onto the top of your left thigh. Breathe. Here, one more breath. And then when you're ready, unravel. Back to your warrior two. Good, take a deep breath in, lift your shoulders to your ears, give them a squeeze, and then exhale to pivot down towards the floor. Now again, see if you can press your weight forwards into this left foot, and in one motion, lift the back leg away from the floor, let it hover. Good. When you're ready, start to draw that leg in towards your body. Squeeze the two knees together, point the right toes towards the back of the room, and then slowly roll up. Until you can reach your hands towards the ceiling, nice and steady. Good, and then begin to roll yourself all the way back down towards the floor. Good, extend that right leg back to the back of the mat and then drop that right knee down. Good, walking your hands back, lifting the toes from your left foot so just your heel is pressing down. Now again, it doesn't have to be fully straight, this leg, just enough so that as you start to press your chest forwards, you feel that stretch running up the back and side of your left leg. Again, you can bring one hand to your inner thigh to help balance you. Hold yourself nice and steady. One more breath. Good, before starting to rebend into that left knee, lifting the back knee away from the floor and stepping your left foot back into a plank. Again, hold yourself here for as long as you can. Steady breathing, legs are strong, look forwards. Good, when you're ready, drop your knees down to the floor. Flick your toes to the back of the room. Pull your body forwards. Bend your elbows. Take yourself down and through and up into a chaturanga and cobra. Hold yourself here. Breathe. Good, then nice and slowly lift yourself back into a child's pose. And just let your heart rate start to slow by having control over your breathing. And slowly draw yourself up so that you're sitting on your heels. Good, now you can stay here sitting on your heels if it is comfortable for you to do so. Okay, if this is really uncomfortable, you're welcome just to shift yourself onto your bum and swing your legs around and go cross-legged. So whatever works for you. When you're ready, let's lift our arms towards the ceiling. Good. And then shift your shoulders back as much as you can here. Hold it there. Good. And then this time bring them a bit further forwards. So you're broadening across your shoulder blades. And then dropping your hands into your lap. Good. Still focusing on our shoulders here. I want you to take your hands forwards with the palms pointing down. Good. Let's start by taking our left arm underneath the right. Okay, so they cross at the elbows. Now, you can either make a V shape with your arms if this is as far as the twist can go for you. Okay, that's absolutely fine. This is as much as you can do. If you want to try and go further and wrap your hands around one another into eagle arms, then also go for it if you can. Okay, but this is also fine. When you're ready, we're going to take a deep breath in, lift our elbows, and press our fists away. Then lift the elbows, press the fists, lift the elbows, press the fists. Good. Unravel your hands, reach them up towards the ceiling. Drop your left hand down towards the floor and take a stretch through your right side. Breathe. Good, and then come back to center. When you're ready, draw your hands forwards again. This time taking our right arm underneath the left, bending the elbows. Again, you can hold this here and make fists. You do the same series of next steps in this position. Or wrap your arms into eagle arms. It's entirely up to you. When you're ready, deep breath in, lift those elbows. Exhale, press the fists away. Inhale, lift. Exhale, press. Inhale, lift. Exhale, press. Good. Keep breathing. Good. Then when you're ready, unravel your arms, bring them up towards the ceiling. This time dropping your right hand down and taking your left arm over your head into that side twist, side stretch. Good. Pull yourself back up to your seated position. Good. And then shift yourself onto your bum and swing your legs around. Now we're going to start by taking our legs nice and wide here. Now if you feel yourself leaning back like I do, you can take a brick or a pillow or anything that you have around you and just pop yourself up onto it. It will help to sit nice and upright even with your legs apart. Good. Now when you're ready, lift your arms towards the ceiling. Now we're going to turn and look at our left leg, but we're going to side bend over to the right foot. Now let your right hand drop down to either your toes or the underside of your legs, and then reach the other arm as far over as you can. And breathe. Good, and then come back to center, reaching your hands nice and high again, this time turning to look at your extended right leg, but then taking it over and dropping your hand down. Again, underside of the leg is fine if you can't reach your toes. Reaching your toes is not a necessary thing. It's merely just something that people like to aim for, as if it gives you some kind of extra life points, which it doesn't. Just feel that side stretch happen. Good. And then draw yourself back up. See if you can take your legs a little wider if possible, and then press forward. So reach your hands forwards, let them drop down to the floor wherever they land. Each of you will be different, so some might be able to fully collapse down. If that case, see if you can try and ease your legs a little wider. For those like me who do not have the capability of doing that, you just want to keep trying to press your chest forwards and down and just feeling that inner thigh pull. And then nice and slowly, draw yourself back up. Bring your feet, the soles of your feet together, and draw them as close to your body as you can. Good, now take a nice tall stance here with your torso, and then bring either your elbows or forearms to the inside of your knees. And just let the weight of your arms gently press your knees down towards the floor. So you're feeling the inner thigh stretching here again. Long breath in. Steady breath out. Good, nice and slowly start to draw those knees back up towards you. If you're sitting on a cushion or a brick, just shift yourself off and make sure that you are lengthways along your mat if you're not there already. Feet are flat down on the floor, knees are bent. Lift your chest to help lengthen out your back. And then bring your hands so they are parallel with the floor. Make fists with your hands, and then gently start to lift and lower your arms. Now, once you've got a nice little rhythm with your arms, every time you press the arms down, I want you to lean back a little bit. When you lift them up, pause. So down and back, up and pause, 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 until finally you've made it all the way down to the floor. And once you've done this, take your knees in towards your chest and just give yourself a nice little rock from side to side. Good. Start to extend your left leg out, but keep your right knee close up towards you. Take hold of that right knee with just your left hand and draw the leg across your body, rolling onto your left hip, taking your right arm out to the right hand side, and then turning your head to look at your right hand. All the while keeping your right shoulder flat down on the floor. Nice and slowly draw this leg back up. And swap it over with the left. So taking that right leg out. Left knee in. Squeeze it up. Take hold of it with just your right hand. Take the left arm out to the side. And then start to draw that left leg across your body. Right up until you can feel that left shoulder blade lifting away from the floor. And then turn your head to look at your left hand. And breathe. Good, nice and slowly draw this left leg back. And then take it down to meet the right as you draw your hands down towards your belly. Now start to take a nice deep breath in. And just feel your belly expand. And when you reach the top of that inhale, gently press on your belly as you exhale. Like you're trying to press as much of the air down, out. Okay, then allow your hands to come wherever feels the most relaxed for you. Either down by the floor or kept on your belly. Just allow the muscles in your jaw to relax. Let your eyebrows come further apart. And gently let everything sink down towards the floor. Gently start to wiggle your fingers and your toes and your nose. And start to deepen your breath. And in your own time, whenever you're ready, bring your knees back in towards your chest. Gently roll yourself over to either the right or the left-hand side. Pressing yourself up to a seated position that you took at the beginning of the session. Let's take a long breath in together and then let it go. Thank you for joining today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Friday and your weekend, and I hope to see you very soon. But to all who have practiced today, most importantly to yourselves, we can bow and say Namaste.